All right, hello everybody. Sorry, my hair's a little bit of a mess, but that kind of just happens when it's wild and shit. The 7th year anniversary stream just ended for Dead by Daylight. Everything was leaked, basically, so it's not like there was anything new. I will say the new map for the new killer is actually really stunning. I think that actually looks really good, so my hype for the chapter has increased a little bit, so that's good at least. But something I wanted to talk about, something that I think is very important that they mentioned like pretty briefly, was that the next two killers after the Singularity, they're going to be licensed. Licensed killers. They said that they're going to be iconic as well. So I'm gonna actually give you my opinion. I'm gonna wage my bets on what each chapter is going to be for Dead by Daylight. All right. So the first one, this one real quick, we already know is Nicolas Cage, which is awesome, by the way. I think that's really funny. I think that's really cool. Nicolas Cage, I said it to some other people before, and I'll say it here, just so that everybody knows, for the record. Nicolas Cage being in Dead by Daylight is fantastic because I feel like it defeats gatekeepers completely. Because so many times people would bring up like, oh, I think this license would be cool for Dead by Daylight. And then people would be like, nah, man, that doesn't fit Dead by Daylight. That doesn't fit Dead by Daylight at all. Screw you, gatekeepers. Now that Nicolas Cage is in DBD, no more gatekeeping. Everything fits into DBD. What the fuck? As long as it's horror, it fits into DBD. You could put Amanda the Adventurer in DBD at this point, and no one can gatekeep it. Because guess what? Nicolas Cage. He's in the fucking game. So, that's fantastic. I think that's great. The next chapter, it's going to be licensed. And we got a killer, we got a survivor. I don't think it's going to be Alien, because we're literally getting an Alien-like chapter with End Transmission. So I don't think we're getting Alien. I don't think that's what it's going to be. My bet, Friday the 13th. I think this is Jason Voorhees, and I think this is Tommy Jarvis. I think we're getting a Friday the 13th chapter. I know that's a pretty bold statement. I have nothing to really go on that, other than it's going to be an iconic killer. But Tommy Jarvis is also an iconic survivor, and you can definitely make a full-on chapter out of Friday the 13th. So I really feel like this could be Friday the 13th, and I hope it is. That's my bet. November is what I really want to talk about, because I will die on this hill. I can be wrong about Friday the 13th. I could be wrong about what I think the survivor is. I could be wrong about what I think March is. I swear to fucking God, November, and November, Springtrap, it's finally gonna happen. I swear to God. Look at the timing, right? It's a killer, just a killer by himself, coming out in November. Probably not even a full month after the Five Nights at Freddy's movie comes out in October. You can't tell me the timing isn't perfect. Also, if we're thinking about this realistically, we weren't really expecting a survivor to come with Springtrap. There was no survivor they could have put from Five Nights at Freddy's into the chapter with Springtrap. It just wouldn't have made any sense, and there were no actual characters with models other than like anybody from Security Breach. You could argue maybe they'll do a Five Nights at Freddy's movie chapter instead. Then you could have a survivor and a killer, but then you wouldn't get Springtrap. You'd probably just get Freddy. And I think they actually just really want to do Springtrap at this point. So it just makes the most sense that November is Springtrap. They confirmed it's going to be a killer, a licensed killer. License. They said the next two killers are iconic. And I don't give a shit. Springtrap is iconic at this point. I don't think anybody's going to disagree with that. That Springtrap at this point is iconic. He's an iconic killer. Everybody knows him. Everybody knows Five Nights at Freddy's. If you don't, you're living under a rock. Iconic. All by himself. It's Springtrap. And I hope I'm right. I hope I'm right. I hope November is Springtrap. I could be wrong about Friday the 13th here. I could be wrong about these next two ones. I just want to be right about Springtrap. I just need... Look, ever since the dawn of this YouTube channel, I talked about Springtrap and Dead by Daylight. This is my fucking thing, man. It's what I want more than anything in this game. So I'm hoping that this is the fucking year. This is the year. And honestly, if I'm right about everything so far, this is a pretty hype year. Honestly, End Transmission looks way better than the past two original chapters that we got. I love the map. Nicolas Cage is just fucking hype. We're getting Slipknot cosmetics. We're getting Iron Maiden cosmetics. That's hype too. If this is Friday the 13th, that's extremely hype. If this is Springtrap, this is already just the best year that we've had. If that's the case. But I really think this is Springtrap. You can't tell me otherwise. And they already... there was supposed to be like rumors back when Pinhead came out that after Pinhead came out, Behavior was really looking into trying to get Springtrap so that, you know, the Five Nights at Freddy's fans can be pleased, which there are a ton of. So I really think it just makes sense that this is finally, after all this time, Springtrap. Especially with the timing of the chapter. With the movie coming out not even a month beforehand. So, because it comes out October 27th. That's when the movie comes out. And there's no way this chapter comes out like end of November. So it's gonna be like hand in hand. Five Nights at Freddy's movie, Springtrap. It just makes the most sense. Okay, so January is kind of a shot in the dark. From this point on, we don't know if it's licenses or not. I think the new Survivor is going to be a license. Now, I know that Michaela was a thing. We got an original Survivor all by themselves. But typically when we get a Survivor by themselves, it's a license, like Ash or Bill. So I think that this could also be a licensed Survivor. And the first Survivor that comes to my head is Daryl Dixon. Because the Behavior followed Norman Reedus. I remember hearing about it, that Behavior started following Norman Reedus. If that's the case, that makes sense. Also, I don't know when the Daryl Dixon show is coming out. I know that the Negan and Maggie show is coming out in June. But with the new Survivor coming out in January of 2024, it kind of sounds like the Daryl Dixon show is going to be kind of near that, which would also make sense. If we're talking about the timing with movies and shows, like with Springtrap and Five Nights at Freddy's, then also, since there's a Daryl Dixon show coming out, probably around that time, it makes sense that this would be Daryl Dixon. Now, that is a complete shot in the dark, but that's what my bet is going to be. I think this is Daryl Dixon. And if that's the case, if everything I'm saying is true, what a fucking year. Because we went from having little to no licenses to fucking Nick Cage, another license, and then fucking Daryl Dixon. Fantastic year. And then March, I'm very, very confident that March is an original. I'm very... Because they said the next two killers are licensed. So I think March is going to be an original. Now, I will say, they said the next two killers are licensed, but they didn't say anything about this right here. So this Survivor in January very well could be a licensed Survivor, could be Daryl Dixon. So those are my guesses for this year. And if they're all correct, it's going to be a very hype year. So we got End Transmission coming out in June. We got Nicolas Cage coming out in July. Friday the 13th, August. I would not be surprised. And you know what, real quick? I might edit this out, who knows? I'm just going to check the calendar. I'm going to see if there's a Friday the 13th in August. Ah, shit, there isn't. All right, whatever. If there was, I would have been like, nah, fuck. It's it's Friday the 13th, definitely. But I think it could be, look, realistically, it could be anything. You know, it's just a chapter. It's going to be licensed. It could be any license known to man. You know, they could do really anything. But they said it's iconic. And I feel like, honestly, Friday the 13th is the easiest one to get. Because I don't think they're going to do Alien. Like I said, they're doing their Alien chapter right now, basically. Alien's not going to be an easy license to get. Predator, I don't think they're going to get Predator. They said they weren't ever going to do Child's Play. So what other licenses at this point come to mind that are iconic? The only one I can think of is Friday the 13th. So that's my guess. I think it's Friday the 13th. This has to be fucking Springtrap. I'll bet my fucking life on it that this right here is Springtrap. If that isn't Springtrap, I don't know who the fuck that is. And it's so convenient too. Like, come on, man. All the fucking stars are aligning here. Five Nights at Freddy's movie coming out right before it. Just the Killer by itself. No survivor whatsoever, which makes sense because there's no real survivor for Five Nights at Freddy's that you could put in. Come the fuck on. It's gotta be Springtrap. This is finally the fucking time. It's gotta be Springtrap. It's fucking gotta be. January, Daryl Dixon. March, original chapter. Those are my guesses. Let me know what you guys think about all of this shit. Let me know what you guys think about Nicolas Cage. Let me know what you guys think about End Transmission. Let me know what you guys think about the August chapter and what license you think that is. If it's not Friday the 13th, what do you think it is? November, tell me if you agree if it's Springtrap or not. Let me know what you think it could be if it's not Springtrap. New Survivor, that's the one I'm curious to hear about from you guys. What new Survivor do you think it is in January? It's not confirmed that that's licensed. It could be original. But if it is licensed, what do you think makes the most sense? If you don't think it's Daryl Dixon, who do you think it could be? Or really anybody from The Walking Dead. Who do you think it could be? And then March, I think we can all agree that that's going to be an original. So, especially if this is also licensed. We're getting a fuck ton of licensed shit. This is probably an original. So, thank you for watching. I'll be covering all this shit when it happens. Just to see if I'm right. And we'll look back at this video to really see if I called it all. And if I did, props to me. But subscribe, stay tuned. We'll be covering the August chapter. If they put out any clues, we'll be covering it. The November chapter as well, we'll be covering that. We'll be seeing if that one's Springtrap. Same with January, we'll be seeing if it's Daryl Dixon. So keep subscribed, like the video. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you for watching. Peace out, guys.